Hi, I'm George K. and this is my father Niels.
Hi.
Welcome back to the episode of Father and Synthesizer, number 34 already. Today we're going to be talking about a very cool modulation effect. And it's not a phaser, it's not a chorus, it's its very own thing. Today we're talking about the Univibe, or our own version of that. Now, as I said, it's in its own category of modulation, somewhere in between phaser and chorus. Technically it's a phaser, right? But the sound isn't very phaserish. The very cool thing about the Univibe is that it's controlled via light. This is a very old design from the 60s, and they tried to replicate the sound of a spinning speaker, like a Leslie type sound. They didn't quite achieve that, but they got their own very cool sound. But without further ado, I'm just going to show you what it sounds like in a little song demo. Now that you've heard the song, I'm also going to show you how to control it and how it works. Right, let's check out the Father and Synthesizer Univibe clone. My signal chain is the JMaskis Jazzmaster through the Father and Synthesizer, through this buffer, and then into my Bugera G5, basically a Blackstar HT5 clone. First we have the input gain, which is self-explanatory. Then we have the intensity. Look at the LED and what happens when I turn the intensity down. Now it's steady. And now it goes like crazy. You have to find a nice balance, like this. Now the speed obviously affects the speed of the LED, and as you can see, it also affects the intensity. This is by design. I don't know why it does that, but that's just the way it does its thing. Now let me turn the intensity down and let's play with the offset. As you can see, the offset changes the brightness of the LED. I don't know how well it translates to camera, but basically with this you can set where the lowest level is. Let's check this sound out. With this switch we can switch between three mods. First the original, mod 1 and mod 2. I forget which ones exactly they are, but they should be in our documentation. There you can hear what happens when it bottoms out into the LED off. Because that basically cuts the sine wave off. Now this is mod 1. Let's switch to mod 2. Mod 1, that was 2. And now the original, which I find is very close to mod 1. Now we have the switch between chorus and vibrato. Basically what this does is vibrato is just the Univibe signal and chorus is a clean signal mixed into it. This is a lot more subtle than the vibrato mode. here we have another mod that is the instrument on-off, the instrument. It's basically a boost circuit, because for some reason our input volume was very, very low. With this you can turn the boost on or off. On is very useful for guitars, and off, as you've heard in the demo, is what I use for the synthesizers. Now, there are a lot of clones out there because this is an old design. So we looked at those other clones, at those other schematics available. And Niels, let's talk a little bit about that.
So we found a schematic for this Univibe clone that we liked. And as usual, you'll find the link within the schematic we will post on our GitHub. So the schematic looked fine, but there were some things that we didn't like. For example, they were using a lamp.
A light bulb lamp.
A light bulb lamp for the light control thingy. And we said, nah.
We don't have any of those.
We don't have any of those, and I don't like it because it's power consuming and so on. So we decided to go with a white LED. That required us to modify the driver stage of the module to be able to control an LED instead of a lamp. The other thing that is required for this module are 4 LDRs.
Those are light-dependent resistors. So a resistor where the value is changed by the amount of light that it gets.
So the resistance is very high when it's dark, and it's low when it's bright. To purchase the original LDRs was not really something we could do. They're very hard to come by, but we were lucky to get a bunch of LDR03 resistors, which are vintage from the 80s actually.
Like 100 piece for like 10 euro or something on eBay.
Yeah.
So just keep your eyes open on eBay and the used market. These were new old stock and they're really cool.
Really cool. And so we set up an example stage on a breadboard with a white LED, the driver, and with an LDR. And soon found out that almost any LDR will work, because the design is so robust that you can control the effect using the driver stage we built in very minute detail. So almost any LDR will work, I assume.
Now then, once we built the first PCB, and please note my use of first here, we plugged it into a small guitar amp, plugged a guitar into it because this is mainly supposed to be a guitar effect. And what do you know? It was really quiet, like super quiet. So, what did we do?
Well,
back to the drawing board.
Indeed, I modified the schematics again, added an op-amp driver section to allow us to control the volume of the module. And so what you will find on GitHub is our second version of this module with a very good volume control to it.
And as you've heard in the demo, it's not just a simple guitar effect, it can also be used very effectively on a synthesizer. Because in the sound demo, everything except for the drums was with the Univibe.
Very cool sound.
Now, these changes to this design were so much that we decided to give it a new name. This isn't the classic Univibe that Jimi Hendrix used anymore. This is the Father and Synthesizer vibe, the FNS vibe. Basically our own take on the classic concept.
Indeed.
Cobbled together from many schematics and classic sound examples. Now we're also planning to take this design and take it from the rack-mounted unit to a guitar pedal unit. We're going to build a prototype for my pedal board first, but we're considering that maybe we'd manufacture them here in-house and sell them if there's any interest at all. So please let us know in the comments if you'd be willing to buy one of these instead of one of the many other clones. I mean, these are boutique built in-house here from us.
Built on demand.
Yeah. So thank you very much for watching this. Please remember to like and subscribe to the video, comment if you want to know anything, check out our website. On there we've got some old projects and a way for you to contact us, which does happen quite frequently, and I'm very happy every time I get an email from there. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again in 2 weeks, and remember, stay curious!